Genshin voice actors has raging breakdown on Twitter. Uh-oh.
Situation going on back on Genshin Twitter / Hoyoverse Twitter, where some voice actors all mad and raging at people online. But first, some additional context to all of this. Hopefully you've
Okay.
been keeping up with my videos covering the disastrous Genshin boycott over the last month or so, where we covered how
Yeah, so basically, I don't know how much he's going to recap it, but basically, with Genshin Impact, they're going into Natlan. Natlan is heavily inspired by South American and African cultures. And so a lot of voice actors and just Twitter people in general are instigating a movement or starting a movement of boycotting Hoyoverse because the characters in Natlan are not brown enough. They don't have dark enough skin. And so they are boycotting Hoyoverse. They're calling for a boycott on Hoyoverse to essentially get them to like darken the skin tone and not whitewash and not culturally appropriate. The problem with that is no one in the boycott Hoyoverse movement is willing to stop playing Genshin Impact. And in fact, the biggest quote, the rallying call of boycott Hoyoverse is go free to play Queens, which is essentially saying instead of boycotting and instead of stopping to play Genshin Impact, you should just go free to play. And if you go free to play, you're not supporting the game and you're doing your part. You're doing your job, which is the most nonsensical thing because most of what Genshin sort of profits off of and what helps them prosper is playtime. It is strictly playtime because that's what convinces investors to pour more money into them. It allows them to elevate their own platform and secure funding for more and more improvements to the game. It makes them more valuable as a product to sell to other investors, to get more money out of other investors. So playtime is the most important statistic, I would say, or like I guess second to revenue earned. And it's tough to say you're boycotting or you're doing anything that is meaningful if you're not stopping to play the game. Like movement aside, like not boycotting the game is the most ridiculous thing in my opinion. That's the context.
performative the entire thing's been, and what a failure it's been too. Something that's
You know what's weird? A lot of these boycott Hoyoverse but still managing and pumping content for their daily character account. Yeah, because it's virtue signaling. It's virtue signaling at its finest. It's you don't have a strong conviction. You don't care enough about the situation. And if that's the case, then don't say that you do. If you're not championing this movement with the intent of creating change, then the only thing you're doing is farming. You're farming with virtue as like your false sort of figurehead, right? It's a false movement. You're just calling more attention to yourself saying that I'm virtuous, I'm of like right mind when that's not the case. You don't believe that this will actually instigate any change. It's the most two-faced thing you can do to say that like, "Oh, I believe in this cause," but not actually do anything of substance besides bitch and moan and complain, which we all know will never do anything.
some people on Twitter got extremely mad at me about, trying to insult me and send death threats and all that typical boring stuff. But it's especially funny because now most of them are actually admitting that myself and the people who agreed with me have been right the entire time. So as more and
Absolutely.
more people on Genshin Twitter admit that the boycott failed, now we're seeing some Genshin voice actors attempting to rally the troops, so to speak. It's very disingenuous in my opinion, because if you really look at what some of these voice actors have done, as well as some of the Hoyo content creators too, well, they essentially put in the most minimal amount of effort possible into the boycott, basically making like a few
Yeah, because it's virtue signaling. It's just saying, yo, look at me. I believe in what's right and fuck this company, this big ass company, right? Support me. But yeah, it's just virtue signaling at its finest. It's to elevate and promote their own brand. But when you do it with this weird false mask of, oh, I'm being virtuous, I'm protecting like the cultures of the minorities or whatever, people who are not being represented, it feels super disingenuous and very, very scumbaggy.
tweets near the beginning, but still going on to voice for Hoyoverse and make Hoyoverse content. In other words, making the company money and promoting it. the very company that they claim to support boycotting against. Meanwhile, they expect people on Hoyoverse Twitter to do all of the actual heavy lifting. You could say those specific VAs and content creators use the whole boycott for social media clout and treat everyone else like a tool. It's pretty messed up, but thankfully a lot of Hoyo Twitter is starting to realize this. Anyways,
and it's just to farm impressions and likes. I feel like some people don't really understand this. Like, why would someone want to virtue signal? Why would someone want to rage bait? Well, it's to farm impressions. Twitter right now is a monetized platform. I think it's been a monetized platform, and the amount of impressions you get, I don't know if you guys understand this, but basically, like, over here, this stuff, right? This over here, 12K impressions. You get paid based off the impressions. It's not that much, right? But there are a lot of people that are desperate on Twitter, not only for the clout of the impressions, but also just the payout as well. So, like, rage baiting and virtue signaling, these are all just really easy to use tools to farm impressions, get likes, get follows, and build a following, a base, so that, you know, you can create like some sort of sustainable income, right? And it's kind of weird because obviously, like, Twitter and X is mostly seen as like the town square. It's mostly seen where like discussions are to be had, but it's so hard to have a genuine and honest discussion when you do have essentially bad actors, people who are not genuine, people who are just wanting to farm instead of actually engage and be engaged by the discussion and actually have like any sort of stake in it, right? It's always just super detached and not, there's no stake involved. And if there's no stake in what you claim, then no one should take that seriously. But let's see.
As mentioned, as more and more people are jumping off ship from the boycott, now some of these voice actors are conveniently making a few tweets about it once again, which takes us to the current situation. So we got this tweet from Courtney Lynn, who says, "Oof, jumping back on Twitter to say your voices matter, and I'm so proud of our community for using theirs. Retweet, email, speak up. Our community is strong." To which normal degen behavior says, "So proud of my community. My community is so powerful and brave for getting rid of you. It's wonderful to let all voices be heard, but not yours. What a wonderful community.
Damn,
my community
dude.
loves my community." And love is love, and community is community, and we love our community. So yeah, it's
Yeah, so this is they changed the English voice actors for Lucy and Sokaku. If you don't know, here we could actually hop in right now and, you know, take a look. So you have Sokaku.
Is it work time? Is food included?
Yeah, that's totally different from what she used to sound like. And you have Lucy.
Good day, Proxy.
They're all
Sokaku,
different.
Ready. To what do I owe the pleasure? Is it work time? Is food included?
This is definitely something that happened for 1.1. So they are totally different. And honestly, I don't really care too much if they are different. It is fine. At the end of the day, someone else is gonna fill in the role, and it's not like it's crazy, like, right? It's not bad at all for me. Anyway.
So now, going back to the set of tweets with Courtney Lynn in normal degen, he got a response from another voice actor, Valeria Rodriguez.
Yo, well, you guys can read this, right? Okay. I think he's gonna read it.
And she's the one who's going all rage mode, as mentioned at the start of this video, leaving this response to him that's so exceptional and lame that I'm going to have TTS repeat it so that I don't have to. So please bear with the voice. It's only going to go on for a few seconds.
You're a frickin' loser who is going to die alone, and I would bet $1,000 that you are incredibly depressed and hate yourself. Get therapy or rot alone in your bedroom, but leave nice people out of it, nerd. Dad, or have the balls to say this shit in person, not behind a profile pic.
Wait, she's so mad. What the fuck? She's so angry. And that's like so ironic. It's so ironic that someone like this is saying like, oh, you're a loser, you're gonna die alone, you're probably incredibly depressed and hate yourself. When so many people with Twitter, right? Especially the people who are like social justice or like really like pushing forward these kind of movements, especially like boycott Hoyoverse, right? Those are like the typical people who would have on their Twitter profile, I'm mentally damaged, I'm depressed, or I'm just getting by day. You know what I mean? Those are like the picture perfect people who are these like depressed, hate yourself people, these people who are like incredibly unsatisfied with their life that they usually take to online and become chronically online.
Pick.
Now people are responding to Valeria's freakout. For example, Haru47 saying ENVAs be like, why does nobody like us? And then proceed to say stuff like this.
Yeah.
Jethro saying, wow, modern VAs are fragile and unprofessional. They also don't sound that great, but that's an entirely different issue.
Damn. People like Sucrose's voice apparently, right? But yeah, this is just totally just unhinged behavior.
Gecko saying, weird how all the best adverts for replacing English voice actors with AI comes from English voice actors themselves. Normal degen behavior also responding, saying, if I ever fly off on toxic rants like this, you have full permission to get me fired from Mihoyo and also replace my voice with someone less unhinged. Just for anyone.
I feel like, honestly, like replacing voice actors with AI is probably not the right move ever, especially when it comes to like characters. When it comes to like something like what do you call it? Not the show. What is it called? That one Steam shooter game, The Finals, and having like AI voices kind of provide procedurally generated feedback on what the players are doing. I think that's an innovation, and I think that's actually pretty cool. Replacing scripts with AI and having like a proofreader sounds okay. Like as far as like dubbing, not dubbing, but subtitling anime, that doesn't seem like too bad to me. But replacing voice actors with AI doesn't seem like it would give the same level of quality. All right, Hoyoverse VA fucked around and found out maybe more unhinged voice actor behavior.
That, or have the balls to say this stuff in person, not behind a profile picture, which, you know, besides that last part that's a not so vague threat, you can see this mean girl routine here. It's absolutely insufferable. And you'll also see in this tweet and in many others that there's a lot of projection, okay? A lot of projection about things that clearly they might be insecure about themselves. So let's look at some of the responses she had to random users in the comments of the original tweets. So this user said, maybe if you had a real job, you'd have more than $1,000 to bet with. Where she responded saying, I post your bank account, I'll do the same. I got way more than 1K. Trying to go band for band with a random Twitter user is some nasty work, okay? Wealthy people don't do this. Wealthy people don't go onto Twitter and start arguing and trying to compare bank accounts with random users. That's not what they do.
That's so weird, dude.
And also, this might sound a bit harsh, but it is the reality of the industry. English voice actors don't make a lot of money. In fact, a lot of them struggle financially and have to have side jobs to keep things going with their voice acting career. So I don't really know if this is the route they want to go. But on top of that, the way they describe this, they sound like some teenager who got their first paycheck of all time and now they're flexing it out on everyone. But this money, the issue would get a little bit worse. So she made another tweet saying, sad muskrat, referring to Elon Musk, sucks, and I don't pay for Twitter Blue. The sheer amount of engagement I've received from some of these weirdos would have made me twice as rich as I already am. So not only is she calling...
If you're not familiar with Twitter Blue, if you're not familiar with the monetization on Twitter, you get paid peanuts, okay? You do not get paid much at all for farming engagement on Twitter. Like, you do get paid, but you don't get paid that much, dude. If you're gonna say it's gonna make you twice as rich, that's so funny. That's so hilarious.
Calling herself rich. She's saying she'll be twice as rich if she had ad revenue sharing on Twitter because of all these engagements she's been getting. As someone who does have a Twitter Blue account and knows how this works, engagement and the revenue from it on Twitter is abysmal. It's not worth your time. You literally make sense for thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of interactions. In this case, based on all the interactions she probably got over the last 24 hours, she would have made like $5. So I don't know if you want to flex that you'd be twice as rich with $5 to your name. But anyways, let's move on to some more projection. This user is making fun of their appearance, and they reply by saying, not me on my third threesome of the year, and these nerds in the comments calling me ugly.
What? What? That's so weird, dude. That's like, what? That's like such a weird thing to say. What? What the fuck? I'm like, I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say to that. It's like the most weird, like, yeah, I've totally had sex. I have tons of sex, guys. Believe me. Like, what? Ew. That's so weird, dude. That is just this. That's like, what? Why? I have all the sex. I'm a professional sex haver.
So if this looks familiar, this is almost exactly what Kotaku editor Alyssa Mercante said earlier this year when someone was
This was worth it. This was worth the look.
criticizing her. She responded by saying, well, I just had a threesome. Okay, like what does that have to do with anything? Does that make you more valuable? Does it make your words more valuable in this situation? It sounds like some frat boy trying to brag to
Guys, I'm sure any one of you guys can find a threesome. You just gotta look hard enough. Like, you just gotta look way down. You just gotta look way low. It's not that hard.
to his buddies. Like, it's kind of an embarrassing thing to say. Like, if you're a consenting adult, so you can do whatever you want, but don't act like it makes you more valid of a person in an argument. But continuing on, here's another wall of projection. This is just 3 random replies in a row. So this user says,
Oh, man.
that's why you're getting replaced. She said, it's actually not. But also, does it suck not living a life or career you love, or are you naturally this bitter? Where the next user says, shut up, get away from my hobby. And she says, does your back knee trigger the demons in your head, or do you actually speak like this of your own free will? Then another
I don't. That's okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's fine.
user says, can't wait to see you get replaced. And then she says, you will never be important, and I think that makes you sad at night. If it hasn't been obvious already, it seems
That's so like. That's so unhinged. From just a voice actress, I don't like. There's not that much clout. I feel like Genshin and MiHoYo. Genshin and MiHoYo created this. MiHoYo made this problem. The idea that voice actors and voice actresses have so much clout and so much like recognition and like this amount of parasocialism is so weird. It is not normal, but I feel like they've created this problem inherently, you know? It's an anime thing. I don't really think it's that much of an anime thing. Like seiyus, I understand. Like a lot of Japanese voice actors and voice actresses have that level of like parasocialism, but it's like there's a huge degree of separation because of the language barrier. But I feel like with English voice actors, voice actresses, before Genshin, I don't think it's ever been this crazy. Honestly, I don't. You know, I feel like it's just not been at this level.
seems like there's a bit of projection here. But here's some more comments. So responding to this user, she said, it's more so the racist Genshin fans coming out of the woodwork because she dared to agree with us wanting better representation sort of thing. But
Why did she put G3? Why did she put 3? Why is she obfuscating it? What is the purpose of that? Is it like Genshin bots? The G word? Why is she doing that? The only reason why you would obfuscate is for bots. But like maybe she doesn't want MiHoYo to like look through her tweets?
yeah, so now she's turning around and calling Genshin fans racist. I'm sure MiHoYo loves seeing this. They love seeing someone who voices one of their characters calling their fans, the people who are helping MiHoYo make money, calling them racist because they want to have a Twitter spat with random people. And on top of that, she would make this thread right here, beginning with this portion, saying, I use my platform for kindness in spreading the word about important topics. That's why she spent the last 24 hours arguing with random people. She's trying to spread the good word, important stuff.
How? I don't know how you can have your head so far stuck up your own ass to literally come out and say, I use my platform for kindness when, like, you went on a 24-hour tirade of just calling people worthless, pathetic, virgin losers. Like, how do these two realities align? It does not compute.
But on top of that, anyone who has to constantly remind you that they're a positive and helpful and nice person,
True.
stay away. They are probably the most toxic person. No positive, nice, good person has to constantly remind you how positive they are. But anyways, let's move down to this last part. So she said,
it really does feel like a lie that they tell themselves to try and convince themselves of that truth. It does not track. This does not track against her tweets.
Says, okay, upon further review, most of these accounts hating on us have an incriminating amount of lolly art on their pages. Maybe I shouldn't interact with these creeps. So by virtue of what she's saying here, she's basically accusing Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse of producing illegal content, which is obviously a bad thing to do, but also you voice acted.
I don't follow with that, but okay.
For this community and this game, these sets of games. Like, why would you be participating with something like that if you think they're making illegal content? If you think stuff like this is illegal, they have tons of lolly characters in the game. And if you don't like that, that's fine, but then don't go getting a voice acting job from them. And on top of that, I mean, it's literally in the game.
I did not know that, but it makes sense, right? It makes sense.
Files. Like, there's no denying that there's a lot of lolly characters in Hoyoverse games. But here you are, gladly taking checks from these companies to keep working with them, because that's more important than anything else. And also, we would see some more replies here, replying to this other voice actor. She said, nah, you're totally right. I shouldn't.
Sometimes does wonders to not engage, as they are often just looking to get a rise or engagement bucks from the blue checks. But sometimes people say stuff that needs to be set right, and I'm glad being professional isn't just being used as code for saying nothing here. Okay, so he's happy that this person's, that Valeria's speaking out and trying to put them in their place by saying she totally has threesomes, guys. She's on her 4th or 5th one. Believe me.
Engage, at least not as much as I do, but sometimes it's satisfying to stay stuff back. Even if I'll never get the satisfaction of
he wants in on the threesome.
Beating them in a 1v1 Muay Thai or something like that.
Wait, hold on. Read that back. Go back.
She said, nah, you're totally right. I shouldn't engage, at least not as much as I do. But sometimes it's satisfying to stay stuff back. Even if I'll never get the satisfaction of beating them in a 1v1 Muay Thai or something like that. Ooh.
What the fuck? It's like, fight me 1v1, go 1v1 me mid. Like, what the fuck, dude? This is so weird. It's so weird, dude. Twitter is just, oh my god. I guess it makes sense. You used to see, like, dumbass people say that shit all the time in, like, lobbies or, like, in League or Heroes of New Earth, 1v1 me mid or whatever. I'll fight you in real life. It's just so cringe when you see a voice actress do it, and a voice actress who says, like, this shit on one hand, and on the other says, I use my platform for kindness. Guys, I'm a moral person. I'm the like just saying that you're all that's good in this world, but saying, like, literally 1v1 me in Muay Thai. It's insane.
Ooh, shiver me timbers. Wow, she's gonna challenge you to Muay Thai. Here's the thing. I find this with a lot of cry bullies on Twitter. The second they kind of run out of arguments, they either start name calling you or threatening you in real life. Like, that's all they really have at this point. But let's move on. I mean, this is the same person, right?
Damn.
They're trying to challenge these people to real life stuff. They're saying that people are cowards and hiding behind profile pictures. But then go to her tweets and you'll see she's hiding replies making fun of her. So I guess she's not that tough. But on top of that, she would say this: I'm in the comments verbally beating haters. V Nation, join me in my crusade. So she's referring to, I guess, her followers as the V Nation after herself, and also saying she's verbally beating haters.
Oh, I thought when she was saying V Nation, I thought she was talking about other voice actors. Okay, that is omega cringe, dude. V Nation? Your own Valyria Nation? Oh my god. Ew. That is disgusting. That is so, like, even if you do have a following or like some kind of like viewer base, to actually have like a call to arms and say, defend me, my white knights, that is so fucking cringe. That is like, that is just so weird. That is, are we our nation? Shut the fuck up. No. Stop. We're not our nation. Jesus Christ.
Which
That sounds so dumb and sounds so bad too. It sounds like we're a nation of like retards or some shit.
I guess would be breaking Twitter TOS at that point. But on top of that, what are you beating? Like, you're just like randomly projecting about nonsense that's not verbally beating anyone. And on top of that, she would say that people are tagging her employers trying to get her in trouble. But she ends with this down here. I will go to effing war for my friends. Yes, I would say it all in person. No, I do not care if I get fired for that. I know where my ideals and morals lie, and I will always roast the F out of these assholes, especially for friends. And yes, I'm hot as F and bang a lot. It's my burden to bear. Insufferable.
Yes, I'm hot AF and bang a lot. I have tons of sex, guys. Guys, you don't understand how much sex I have. I have to schedule appointments for my sex. I have a diary of all my sexual escapades. I have a calendar lined up. If you wanted to fit an appointment, maybe I could slot you in on Thursday, 6 p.m. 6:30. No, 6:30 is actually what it is. This is an actual tweet, guys. This is an actual tweet. Nah, Rev had to like have like doctored this, right? He had to like screen cap this and just he's putting in bullshit, right? Even if she was hot, the idea that you have to say it speaks volumes.
But anyways, one of the people who helped share this entire story was Hero Hey, and she would even throw some strays in his direction saying, ignore them, that dork is just trying to get his bag from doing trashy journalism. Doesn't matter. I'm moving on and thinking about what I'm going to do for Halloween. Yes, she's moving on after tweeting almost every minute for 24 hours straight to people she's mad about on Twitter. But anyways, that's going to do it for this situation. Will she be the next one to suffer some sort of punishment from the Hoyoverse? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, we've seen at least one voice actress paying for their comments and signal boosts of the Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse related boycotts. But that's going to do it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. And I'll see you guys next time.
I will never forgive Valeria Rodriguez if what results of this is my community being called our nation. That would be the worst thing. That would be the worst thing imaginable. Oh my god, dude. Unhinged. This person is fucking crazy. I have a lot of sex, dude. Truly. We here at our nation have tons of sex. We have threesomes all day, every day. The most prolific activity we do here in our nation is have a ton of sex. Threesomes up the ass. So much sex. A ton of sex.